Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going over Miraidon EX, specifically the third place list for Jesse Parker. Congratulations to you, sir. I think you went 13-1, which is historic in its own right, and you should be congratulated for that alone. You did fantastic during the tournament. Bad matchups happen, but I think to many on the internet, you are still technically their champion. But let's go ahead and get into the deck and not get into an argument about who should have won Worlds. We have 2 Miraidon with its tandem unit ability. It says once during your turn, search for 2 basic electric Pokemon and put them on your bench. It's fantastic. You can go and get your Zapdos, you can go get your Rotom, you can go get another Miraidon and do it again, or you can do your Iron Hands. There are many things you can do with this deck and its tandem unit ability. For Lightning colors, it does have its Photon Blaster 220, but it can't attack next turn. It's kind of okay. 220 hits a lot of stuff just perfectly, like Fezandipiti, Mew, and Lumineon. It does also have the attacker Iron Hands EX. For lightning colorless, it has an attack, don't even remember its name, but it does 160. The other attack, and the much more important attack for lightning, colorless, I had to count on my hand to make sure I got it right, is Amp You Very Much. Only does 120, but if you KO the Pokemon, you take an extra prize. So it's really quite good for something like Curlias in the early game. It's good for Squawkabillies and Lumineons. Stuff that you're going to hit hard, even hit with weakness, and kind of keep going that way. And just take 3 prizes instead of 2, or 2 prizes instead of 1. We do have Squawkabilly EX with its Squawk and Seize ability. You can only play it on your first turn, but if it's on your bench, you can discard your hand and draw 6. It's a really good ability, and it's going to help on your first turn going first to get set up. We have the Raikou EX with its fleet-footed ability. If it's an active, draw a card. Nothing special. For Lightning colorless, Lightning Rondo does 20 plus 20 for each bench Pokemon on the field, yours and your opponent's. We have the Seasoned Skill ability on Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX. Says if Bloodmoon is used by this Pokemon, it costs 1 less for each prize card your opponent has taken. It's a great late game attacker in this deck. It does attack for colorless energy, so any energy works on it. Speaking of its Bloodmoon attack, technically for 5, but for each because of its ability. Could be for 1, could be for free, could be for 3. Who knows? But it does 240 and it can't attack next turn. We run quite a few switching items in this deck, or I should say Jesse does, and I think we're going to be okay with that. We have Mew EX with its restart ability. Says if you don't have 3, draw until you have 3 in your hand. Lumineon with its ability says, hey, if I get put on bench from your hand, I'm going to go search for a supporter in your deck. Fezandipiti. Well, Fezandipiti has an amazing ability that if one of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's turn, you can just draw 3 cards. It's fantastic. Cannot be understated how good it is, and personally, I think it's probably the best card from Shrouded Fable. We do have the Zapdos from Pokemon Go, where it says your basic lightning Pokemon can do 10 more damage. We have the fantastic and honestly probably best card from the entirety of the F regulation. We have Radiant Greninja. It's fantastic. If you have an energy in hand, discard it, draw 2 cards. And a card that I've featured a couple times, but it's something that I really like, and I'm glad it's in this deck. We have the Iron Bundle. Iron Bundle says, if I'm on your bench, you can discard me. And if you do, you force them to switch. They get to pick, but they have to switch a Pokemon from their bench to their active. We are running the Arven. Arven is fantastic. You can play it down, search for an item and a tool card, and you're good to go. Boss's Order is fantastic. Bring one of their guys up, and 1 Professor's Research, discard your hand, draw 7. This does run a couple of tool cards, which are weirdly out of order on this particular setup. But we got the Rescue Board, the Bravery Charm, and 2 Forest Seal Stone. Forest Seal Stone is going to be great because you're going to be able to attach it to one of your V Pokemon, of which we are running 2, and we'll be able to search for a card that we want and put it in our hand. We are running the Prime Catcher in this deck. Prime Catcher says gust one of their Pokemon, and then you switch one of yours. The deck from there is pretty simple, pretty easy. Let's get into it. Again, congratulations to Mr. Jesse Parker. Let's see how we do. Okay, so with this deck, we kind of want to go second. We want to go second because we can possibly, somewhat consistently, attack on our first turn if we go second. Raikou's really strong. Miraidon's really strong. If they put something up like a Mimikyu, we can use Zapdos. There are ways to attack and get things moving. So going second with Miraidon is pretty key. You have nothing but basics, so you're not really worried about going... You're not really worried about going second and then be like, oh, well, I have to evolve. No, you don't. You have nothing but basics. So going second with Miraidon is perfectly okay. This isn't bad, I gotta say. This isn't bad. Depending on what the card is that we draw, we could very easily... Okay, so not going to get a donk on this one. Potentially could have, but not going to get a donk on this one. And that's perfectly fine. I would like to get that Mimikyu, though, out of active as soon as possible. So depending on what we have, I may end up go ahead and get rid of this next card, Miraidon. You know what? I'm going to switch card into Squawk, and I'm going to Electric Generator the 1 onto Zapdos. Electric Generator, 2 more onto Zapdos, so we're going to be just fine. Into that, Miraidon down. Miraidon will then use Tandem Unit. I will get the Raikou, and we'll get Iron Hands. Knowing that they have a bunch of stuff that's easy to KO with Ampu very much, we will go ahead and retreat, bring up Zapdos to get rid of this Mimikyu, and we can Squawk and Seize into our next hand, I should say. Okay, we've got the Boss's Order. That's not terrible. Town Store. Town Store, we can use this to get ourselves the Forest Seal Stone. Forest Seal Stone down. I would like to use Star Alchemy. Star Alchemy to get ourselves... How many energy do we have? We have 3. I would prefer the Professor's Research, honestly, at this point. I don't mind having Iron Bundle down, and then we'll have to use Professor's Research. Okay, we've got an Electric Generator. This isn't terrible. Electric Generator, we're going to pop 2 off of that. I like it. We can go ahead and put 2 down on the Iron Hands. I think that's smart. And we'll go ahead and get rid of this Mimikyu. Take the 1 off of this, and we get another Arven. That's not terrible. Not terrible. We can Arven into, say, an Electric Generator and... Arven into Electric Generator and Rescue Board. Put Rescue Board on Zapdos. And then Electric Generator, and then Town Store into Bravery Charm for the Iron Hands, and kind of keep things moving. That's not something we're going to worry about too much, as we can always, with Zapdos on bench, we can always Miraidon. Okay, we get another Arven. Let's go ahead and Arven for Electric Generator, woof, and Rescue Board. Electric Generator, do we hit? We hit 1. Okay, we hit 1. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Into Miraidon, or into this Town Store, into the Bravery Charm. Bravery Charm here. Rescue Board here. We'll go ahead and retreat. It does take 1 off, that's fine. We'll go ahead and Iron Hands. And we can go ahead and amp you very much. Take the knockout. And we'll take 2 off of that. Okay, Forest Sealstone, we already used it. We don't need that. We can get rid of it with an Ultra Ball. How many electric generators? Oh, we've used all 4. That's why. Okay. Electric Generator is good. We've used all 4 of them. Kind of don't like that. We got to go slow from here on out. But that's okay. We'll be able to figure this out. Okay, Rescue Board down. Okay, we got the Mew. That's not terrible. What we can do is Hyper Blower. Drop that. And then we can always Arven into our Prime Catcher. And they'll concede. And that's alright. Okay, so again, with this deck, we kind of want to go second. We want to go second because we run nothing but basics, so it's really not a big issue if, say, for instance, we can't evolve because we don't need to evolve. We want to go second. We're going first this time, but we want to go second so that we can attack and kind of keep things moving that way. This is the first time. This is the first time we've mulliganed. Just the 1 mulligan. Pretty common. Okay, Squawk. Don't like this at all. We need something big off the top. Say something like Miraidon would be great. Town Store, the Rescue Board onto the Squawk, and we can end our turn. Okay, so we got the Charmander down, Pidgeotto in hand. I think this might be the Tord list, or a version of the Tord list. Let's see. Nest Ball. Nest Ball will get us the Miraidon. We have a bunch of stuff. We should be okay. The Miraidon. Miraidon will get us Iron Hands and Miraidon. Miraidon will get us Raikou and Zapdos. And we've got a full bench ready to go. Let's go ahead and Electric Generator. We get the 1 off it. That's fine. Drop that there. Electric Generator. We get 2 off it, so we're pretty happy. We'll attach here. We can Arven. Arven will get us the Electric Generator and Bravery Charm. Electric Generator down. We get 2 off it. We are quite happy. We can go ahead and do that to Miraidon. We can Bravery Charm here. We can Forest Sealstone here. We can use Forest Sealstone. And we are looking for the Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher or Charmander. Drop our Iron Hands. I don't mind pulling it out of the deck at this point. Might as well just keep it in our hand. And we can amp you very much. We're going to take 2 off of this Charmander. We're not going to worry about what he brings up. We do have the boss. So we're going to be pretty happy with that. We have another Lightning Energy ready to go. We'll probably put it on Raikou. That way we have Raikou and we have Miraidon. Temple of Sinnoh doesn't really help him at the moment. We will be using our boss's order. The Barrel down. Pidgeotto down. Industrious Incisors for 1. And then Cleffa. Okay, Super Rod. That'll get him his Charmander and Fire Energy back. I'm guessing he'll go Cleffa for 7. we're pretty okay at the moment. We'll go ahead and put this here. 4 Sealstone on... just leave it in our hand. Boss's Order. Bring up the Charmander. And do it again. We'll go ahead and amp you very much. Take another 2 prizes away. And we're going to be pretty excited. We're going to be moving pretty quickly. We do have the Switch Cart, so that's not a bad thing at the moment. We have Switch Cart, so we can get Iron Hands out of the active if we need to. I would love to top deck another boss. I think we run 3 boss, if I'm not mistaken, so we should have plenty of boss in there. Counter Catcher brings up something. That's okay. We have the Switch Cart. Yep, brings up the Miraidon. We're not really worried about it. Quick Search, I'm guessing, would go and get almost anything. I'm guessing he's hoping that we can't get Miraidon out of active. I think if that's the case, I would have brought up Zapdos. Zapdos still, even if I'm able to get Zapdos up and running, I can't kill with Pidgeot, and literally everything else I can kill with Iron Hands. So he's kind of hoping I can't knock it out. Fez, okay, no big deal. Flip the script, gets another 3. This should be a fairly easy matchup for us. Fire Energy down? What's he thinking? Iono. Iono does hurt us. Okay, so we're going to be just fine. Arven. Arven gets us a Switch Cart. Switch Cart onto Miraidon. Attach. And we will Photon Blaster and knock this Pidgeot out, taking our 2 prizes. And that's the ball game. And there you have it. Miraidon EX, piloted by Jesse Parker at the World Championship 2024. It's a good deck if your hand doesn't suck. So you need a little bit of luck, but this deck has a lot of consistency and you're able to go get kind of what you need to keep your turns moving. You just need a decent turn 1 opening hand is really kind of what I've noticed with this deck. Not a bad thing. Congratulations to Jesse Parker again, going like 13-1, I think, overall throughout the entirety of the World Championships. Obviously, luck was on his side during that time. But that's the one thing I learned about this deck through playing it, is that you kind of need a good opening hand to really set this whole deck in motion. 16 energy, the 16 lightning, and the 2 double colorless can really kind of really bog you down. That's something I noticed. At times I had 5 lightning energy in my opening hand and only had Squawkabilly, and you can't really get rid of those. So that's kind of a go to the next game type thing, unless you're able to get something. What would I change about this deck? Personally, I'd probably go with Iono. Yeah, I would probably go with Iono. I would probably personally get rid of... If you do the 1 Iono for the Professor, I might get rid of Mew to add a second Iono. Or I would... Other than that, I don't think I'd do anything. I think you need every card in here. I think the Professor's research is kind of not great, and if you can, it would be good to get, say, Lumineon, and then be able to Iono if you have a really big, energy-heavy open hand. But that's what you get when you play a lot of energy in a deck like this. That's the only thing I would change. Would I take this to a cup? Yeah. Would I take this to a regional? Yeah. Would I take this to any sort of tournament? Yeah, definitely. That's one of those things that this is a big, strong, incredibly fast deck. This deck is designed to be faster than every other deck on the planet. Does it always happen? No. You do need a little bit of luck with your electric generators. You do need a little bit of luck with a couple things. But One thing we could potentially do is, instead of Town Store, we can do Academy at night. Just in case you do have energy in hand, you can switch your energy, put it on top of your deck, and guarantee something off of Electric Generator, not using your attachment for turn. So that's something to think about. If you would, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things that help me continue to review decks by players who are much, much better than I am and smarter than I am. Anyway, have fun, stay safe, I love you, bye.